This just in, we have the number one dual threat QB recruit in the nation, the five-star prospect out of Indiana, ready to make his college choice. He pushed it back a few days, but is ready to make his long-awaited decision, with most believing it will come down to these three teams: Notre Dame, Kentucky, and Indiana, with Michigan and Ohio State close but dark horses, but might be able to pull him away from them top three. Some speculate that's why he pushed his announcement back at least 3 days. At 6'3", 205 pounds, he has been called the baby Big Vic. He has a cannon for an arm and great straightaway speed, not exactly Vic speed, but extremely close. But his overall size plus that speed is what makes scouts salivate over him. He can make anything on the football field from in the pocket, out of the pocket, or on the run. He's a 37th ranked player overall, but could have been a much higher prospect if he played for a better team in a better high school conference. You really can't move up higher from 37 in my opinion, but I really believe he could be probably top 5, or if not the number 1 recruit in the nation if he'd have went to a different school, or at least went to a better school like IMG Academy or some of those high profile schools where some of the other QBs have transferred from just to go play for. Now let's take a look at the most likely landing place in Notre Dame. Most believe he will pick the Fighting Irish because of how close the team is to his home, with most knowing how close he is to his family, and Notre Dame is only a South Shore train away from home. He most likely will not walk in as a day 1 starter, most likely redshirt his first year there unless the starter falls apart at the beginning of the season, forcing him to play earlier. Now with Indiana, they have a very capable starter under center now, so I believe he will also wait a year before playing a game for them. Not as close, but still close is why they are high on his choice of schools. Kentucky is a huge X factor because out of all the top 3 schools he's choosing, this will most likely guarantee him a starting job if he chooses them. It most likely the hardest conference in the SEC. No disrespect to the Big Ten or the Independent Conference of Notre Dame. Just recently, the SEC has been the best overall conference. The disadvantage with Kentucky and a little with Indiana is the talent around him, which increases the chance he will choose Notre Dame. We have just gotten word that the delay in his signing has nothing to do with the Michigan and Ohio State, think over that. Maybe he might choose one of these teams over the other 3 that have been highly suggested the teams he would go to. No, it was a family vacation in Georgia. We also have noticed only 3 hats in front of him on the table from the 3 previously spoken on teams, which rules out Michigan and Ohio State. That is not much of a shocker because going into this, we knew that Michigan and Ohio State were pretty much long shots on getting him. But, with Ohio State being Ohio State and Michigan, you can never really rule them out, especially from anybody from the Midwest. But now I believe it's a foregone conclusion that he will be he will be part of the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. The upsides from the talent around him, also to not having the greatest of schedules, which almost pencils you into the top 10 every year. And NBC. Let's make this clear. The TV exposure for him, it makes it almost the logical landing spot for the top recruit. You have NBC, so no matter what team you play, you're going to be on television. Every game is televised, so you get the exposure. And you don't play against the hardest schedule, the greatest of teams that give you time to shine and show off your skill set. And also, you're going to get put in a playoff, most likely the top 4. If not, you're still getting a big bowl game. So, Notre Dame, close to home, the talent that will be around him, the schedule, the TV, you can't really not choose Notre Dame at this point in time. They want you, as we see and as we look at it, you want them. So I feel like go ahead and pull that Notre Dame Fighting Irish hat out, put it on your head, and let's get ready for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish season. Because for the next 3 to 4 years, they're going to be a top 10 to top 5 team, as always. And it looks like Julius is ready to make a decision. His whole family's behind him. He's sitting in front of the hats. He's waving his hand. Notre Dame's sitting in the middle, which means I feel like he's might as well just grab the middle hat. Okay. He's reaching under the table. That's a blue hat. What? Is that Georgia State? the Georgia State Panthers. And one of the most shocking decisions in recruiting history, one of the most, in my time, top 5 shocking choices. The top dual threat QB in the nation, the 37th ranked quarterback in the nation, I'm sorry, I am flabbergasted. Player in the nation has chosen one of the worst teams. You don't see this. So now the Georgia visit makes more sense. Days before you make a decision, you push it back. He's in Georgia. Obviously now we know he was in Atlanta, Georgia. But still doesn't make, it's still confusing. Why Georgia State? What made Georgia State so compelling to choose? Not only that, out of your top 5 teams, they were all in the vicinity of where you would stay. This, you're going hundreds of miles away, maybe 1,000 miles away to play football when your biggest choice of picking the teams you had was staying close to home. This is shocking. Don't know why. We can't wait to hear explanation for why he chose Georgia State.